2023. This is the regular meeting of the City of Menifee Parks, Recreation, and Trails Commission. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Will the clerk please do roll call?
Chair Ackerman,
Here.
Vice Chair Faust,
Here.
Commissioner Bowen, Commissioner Bangle,
Here.
Commissioner Peterson.
Thank you. And I'd like to ask Commissioner Peterson to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, if everyone could please stand and place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Peterson. Agenda item 4, presentations. I see we have a special events holiday sneak peek. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Nix.
That is correct. Chair Ackerman, we have Chelsea Bolger and Sarah Eccles here to provide that sneak peek to the commission.
Excellent.
Hello, good evening. I am Chelsea Bollinger. I'm one of the community services coordinators here, and this is.
I'm Sarah Eccles, and I'm a community services specialist.
Do we just say next slide, or do we click it? Oh. Perfect. So we have tons of special events coming up, as you can see with the overflowing page of events. We do have one coming up this Monday, which is our 9/11 commemoration ceremony, which is partnership with MSJC. It is in the morning, so at 7 a.m. we're gonna have breakfast for the first 100 people. And then at 8:20, we are unveiling an artifact that was given to us from the 9/11 towers. So it's actually from the towers in 9/11. And so we're unveiling that, and that's at Mount San Jacinto College on September 11th. Then we have the Art Affair on September 22nd at 5 p.m. The theme is multicultural, so there's gonna be over a dozen artists that are gonna be sharing their work, and that'll be at the Case and Acero Senior Center. And then we have another event, which is the Clean Air Expo and Electric Car Show, which is on October 7th at 9 a.m. until 12. We're gonna have electric cars there, food vendors, and educational booths as well. That is also a partnership with MSJC, so we're excited to do that as well. Something that's new this year, with the State of the City, we are also hosting a Menifee 15th birthday celebration. So at 5 p.m., it's gonna be a VIP Taste of Menifee, which people can buy tickets to. So there's different local food vendors that are gonna be providing just a taste of what Menifee provides. And then at 6:30, we have the normal State of the City address, but it will be in the stadium. So it's our first thing doing at the stadium. And then at 8 p.m., that's what our department is hosting, is the birthday celebration. So it's gonna be a neon nights festival, and there's gonna be a band and just a really fun time, something completely different. We are partnering with other departments in the city to put on such an amazing event. And so the 6:30 and the 8 p.m., those are all free to the public. And then, excuse me, we are gonna continue the fall birthday celebration with our Fall Festival and Birthday Bash on October 21st. That'll be at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we'll have a kids zone, community performances, costume contests, and even a car cruising. So there's gonna be tons of new elements, and we're really excited to continue the birthday celebration, because why not have more than one? Then we also have the Day of the Dead Festival on October 28th from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. There's gonna be a lot of art components, food vendors, and craft vendors there as well. We are doing it at MSJC this year to have more space because it was a huge success last year. We're also gonna be featuring the Gale Webb Action Sports Park, doing a 1-year anniversary from our grand opening. So that'll be on November 4th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. We're gonna have food vendors, some demonstration, and just bringing some more fun to the park. Then we have Veterans Day celebration on November 11th on Veterans Day at 10 a.m. at Central Park. We are planning on having a flyover, weather permitted, and a great ceremony as well. Then we'll have Trot for a Cause November 18th from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. at Central Park. And this is just a fun way for families to interact. There's some fun things like turkey content or turkey costumes and things like that, just making it fun for the holiday. Then I wanted to talk a little bit more about our Christmas tree lighting and holiday bazaar, which is on December 2nd at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's become a family tradition to come to our tree lighting ceremony, and it's at MSJC. We are going to have different large elements this year, but we know that the community loved the large displays, so they're shown up here. We're going to have like a frame and then just life-size things that people really loved and gravitated towards. Then we're always going to do a donation to the community cupboard and Santa's workshop in order to get a free wristband. So that's something we've been doing throughout the years, and the community really loves to come out for that. Then you get a free wristband to go into our snow zone. So it is snow trucked in from sunny San Diego, and it's a great time. The parade will start at 5 p.m., so we are accepting parade applications. It's completely free to be a part of the parade, but it is a walking parade, so there's no cars just because there's so many people that come to that event. We do want to make sure it's safe. Then the tree lighting will be at 6 p.m., and then after that, free pictures are with Santa to follow. Then we have
And then continuing on with our winter events, we're gonna have registration for Breakfast with Santa and Santa on Wheels, opening on November 1st at 8 a.m. It'll be in person, and for the first time, it'll be also available online. Breakfast with Santa is on December 9th. It's $12 per person. And then the seating times are 8 a.m., 9:15 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. at Case and Sarah Senior Center. Then Santa on Wheels, we'll have it from December 14th through the 20th. It's on weekdays only, and each day will be from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with specialized 15-minute visits with Santa, and it'll be $35, and it'll be available to Menifee residents.
And that's all we have for our presentation, and thank you for having us.
Thank you, Chelsea. Moving on to agenda item 5, approval of minutes of the August 3rd, 2023 Park Recreation and Trail Commission meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to abstain. I wasn't here.
No corrections. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as presented. Moving on to agenda item 6, agenda approval or modifications. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
There are none, but may I suggest to the commission, if you would like to take a brief intermission for the photography, we could possibly do that after public comment.
Excellent. Okay. And going to item 7, public comments. Are there any public comments, non-agenda items only?
No public comment.
Okay. So at this time, we're going to take a brief recess. All right. Okay, back and we're on agenda item 8, discussion items, 8.1, Quimby assessment for Estrella track.
I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Mitchell.
All right. So we've got in front of us today something that's regarding Quimby assessments, and these are the fees that technically are assessed for subdivisions and projects that aren't going to provide parks or parkland dedication. And so instead of that, they're going to be paying a fee. So this particular one is for Estrella, which previously was known as Menifee 80 when it was going through the process. It is a subdivision at Holland Road and Evans Road. It is comprised of 80 single-family dwelling units along with 80 accessory dwelling units on the same lot. So that's a total of 160 units. It is a build-to-rent project, private and gated community. So the total, the staff report had all of the calculations, trying to go through the information a little bit higher level for you guys. But the total parkland dedication for this project, based on the number of units, the 80 single-family dwelling units, and the 80 ADUs, which are calculated at 50% of the single-family dwelling units, is a total of 1.71 acres. So the developer is requesting 50% Quimby credit for 0.96 acres of HOA amenities, and these amenities are specific to the community, which are the recreation center, pool, playground, picnic areas, and tennis courts. So in the Menifee Municipal Code, it's pretty much up to the Parks, Recreation, Trails Commission whether or not they wish to grant that credit. So a little bit more information. So when we talk about the update of the Menifee Municipal Code, specifically when it comes to subdivisions and parkland dedication fees, one of the biggest updates is that we no longer have a set fee. It's based on the appraised value of 1 acre of land. So the developer had to get an appraisal of the improved value of the land in this specific project, and 1 acre of land came out to $190,000. So that's the number that we plug into our calculation when it comes to the recommended Quimby fee when we talk about assessed Quimby fees. So looking at this project in particular, it's the 1.71 acres required. The 0.96 acres, 50% of that would be 0.48 acres of Quimby credit, so that would reduce their amount of acreage required to 1.23 acres. So that multiplied by the 190, we come up with the $233,700, which would be the assessed Quimby fee to the developer in order to meet the Quimby requirements. So at this point, we're asking for the commission to either ask any questions regarding this project, or if you have any, want to discuss it, but to either approve or deny the Quimby credit in order to move forward with this project.
Commissioners, we have any questions or comments?
Does staff have a recommendation?
Our recommendation is to approve it.
Hearing no questions or comments, do we need a motion?
Yes.
Have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 8.2.
All right, this is me again. So we're going on to the next project, which is pretty much the same type of question that we're asking Commission today as the previous item. This one is for Adler Ranch, which is a subdivision located at Holland. Oh, I think that's wrong. I'm sorry, it's Antelope and Craig. Yeah, that was not updated, I'm sorry. Subdivision located on Antelope Road and Craig Avenue. This one's a little bit different. It is 211 single-family dwelling units with 92 multifamily units. So this project is a total of 303 dwelling units. So this one's a little bit larger. It is a single-family rental home community, so the intention is for it to be built to rent. The required parkland dedication for this project in particular, based on the number of units, is 4.14755 acres of parkland dedication. And so for this one, the developer again is asking for Quimby credit based on the recreational amenities that are in the project, which include a recreation center, pool, playground, picnic areas, and a dog park. So for this one, it's going to be just a little bit different because they're asking for Quimby credit for 1.53 acres of HOA amenities, but we're currently recommending Quimby credit for 1.42 acres, simply because in our Menifee Municipal Code, we specifically talk about active parkland dedication, and some of the areas and amenities that the developer has requested Quimby credit for are things like open space seating areas, which isn't necessarily active parkland. So if we take a look at what our They went through the same process. They had to get the appraised value of 1 acre parkland, of 1 acre of land, and it's $240,000. And we kind of do the math similar to what we did in the previous item, where we look at the staff recommendation, which is the Quimby credit for the active park spaces, which would be 0.71 acres of Quimby credit, reducing the required parkland to 3.4, and then multiply that by the 240,000. And so that would come up to $825,012 assessed Quimby fee. Below that, you'll see the developer requested Quimby credit, which is for a larger amount, which is just over 0.76 acres of Quimby credit, which would reduce their fee to $812 assessed dollars. I'm sorry, assessed Quimby fee. So essentially, again, the question is before commission, which would you prefer? Staff is recommending the part where we're giving credit for active parkland, and the developer is requesting for all of the identified park areas.
Okay, any questions or comments? Commissioner?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Motion to approve staff recommendation.
we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And 8.3, aquatic program proposal for summer 2024. I am excited about this.
It's the Mariana Show.
All right, I'm excited about this too. So as you know, as we finish the Parks Master Plan, going through the update, one of the things that we heard over and over again from a number of residents is that there's a need for aquatics programs, aquatic facilities. And so kind of taking a look at that, especially now that we kind of have our marching orders for where we're taking programming and facility development, park development for our department, we wanted to take a closer look at what we were capable of doing for aquatics programming. So specifically for looking at summer 2024. And so some of the things that we're kind of looking at this at multiple angles, not just, hey, how do we get pool programs started or how can we build pools, but trying to utilize what's in the works for us, what's being planned, what's already here, and, capitalizing on some of those partnerships that are available to us as a municipality. So first off, as we all know, we definitely are looking for ways to integrate new facilities and amenities in our current parks, in our new and developing parks, and our conceptual plans for parks, with the first one being the implementation of a splash pad at Banner Village Park, which we believe will be opening very shortly. And then also incorporating things like splash pads and pools into some of our future developments that are kind of headed down the road. So again, wanting to make sure we're addressing some of those concerns, learning from, the implementation of our first splash pad and kind of taking that and figuring out how we can grow and add more to either existing parks or new up and coming parks. The second one is kind of looking at existing facilities. We've all talked about the drop zone, which is right in between. It's in Paris. It's available to Menifee residents. We know that originally it was marketed as a Menifee Paris joint venture with the Riverside County, and we want to make sure that our residents know that this is available to them. We do an annual trip through our summer programs to the drop zone, but we want to expand on that by reaching out. We're in contact with the current manager at the site. They're just ending their aquatic season, so they're more open to talking to us now that their busy season is over, to see how we can come up with either some Menifee days, some potential special events for Menifee residents at the Drop Zone Park, and then working on expanding the marketing and outreach to letting Menifee residents know that this is available to them. This was built to make sure that residents have the accessibility to this type of amenity. So looking forward to expanding that and getting the word out and working more closely with them as a partner. And then expanding our partnerships. As we all know that Paris Union High School has done some lovely updates to some of their existing facilities, one of those being Paloma Valley High School, that just got a new aquatic facility. And we've actually had the opportunity to go out, take a visit of it. It's a beautiful 33-meter pool, beautiful showers, locker rooms, very accessible. And so we're really excited about being in negotiations with Paris Union High School about joint use of that pool. Specifically to create programming that will be available to Menifee residents in order to kind of help bridge the gap between what's available locally and between the schools and the city. So with that in mind, I'm kind of going to dive in a little bit more about what we're talking about when we say we're going to partner with Paris Union High School. So we are working on a memorandum of understanding. Right now, it's not a joint use agreement because we're really kind of looking at it as a programmatic approach. We're kind of taking one program and seeing, how this works for us. And then from there, we could potentially work into a joint use agreement in the future. So right now, it's going to be an MOU. But Paris Union High School has essentially said as long as it's not being in, Paloma Valley High School had said as long as the high school isn't using the pool during the summer hours, during the summertime, we're welcome to utilize it for a very low cost. So again, they've kind of established the current fee is $15 per hour for facility use, and they will still maintain, repair, and clean the aquatic facility as they typically do. The city, in turn, will look at implementing aquatic programming for Menifee residents and staff according to their hiring practices, which are very similar to the cities because we all work with youth, and making sure that our staff have the appropriate certificates, they're screened appropriately for drug and alcohol, TB testing, and background check. So that's the very basics of what we're looking at. Of course, when we're going to do the official MOU, it's going to be lots of pages long with all the legalese and all that fun stuff and indemnity, all that fun information. But the basis is that we're both coming to the table because we know that there's a need that working together we can meet for Menifee residents. So looking a little bit at the proposed summer pool schedule, one of the things when it comes to offering swimming programs, especially when it comes to swim lessons, is consistency in times. So with Paloma Valley High School utilizing the pool pretty much essentially every day up until about noon, we wanted to be able to give them time to get out of there, give our staff time to get in there, and so we had anticipated starting out the day with recreation swim during the hottest part of the day, from 1 to 3 o'clock, and then which would be a daily offering, and then with weekly offering on Saturdays. And this would be a minimum fee of $2 for residents, $3 for non-residents, very minimal. And then during the Monday through Thursday, we have our Learn to Swim program at 30-minute intervals with essentially approximately 6 kids per instructor. The pool is a large enough pool where we could potentially have up to 6 classes happening at any given time with 6 sessions going on throughout each day. So again, trying to maximize what time that we have, starting out with recreation swim and then going into swim lessons with the extended daylight hours. So looking how we're trying to capitalize on the hours that are available for us to use. So with this type of schedule, there's the potential to serve over 4,000 residents each summer. So one of the things that was really important to us was how do we maximize, how do we make it available, how do we make sure that residents are going to come out and just make sure that they're taking advantage of the opportunity of this type of programming. So kind of moving on into some of the estimated fiscal impacts, because as we know, this program isn't going to be free, but it is something that's going to cost the city. And looking at the total program costs, and these are all estimates based on top step of each of these seasonal part-time positions, our CS Leader 1, which are technically like our cashiers, our lifeguards who will be in the stands and the towers, our water safety instructors who are actually going to be teaching the lessons, and our pool managers who are going to be on site daily managing and supervising these part-time staff. So the majority of the cost are going to be in personnel part-time cost. And a couple things that we wanted to make sure that you are aware of when you're looking at some of the numbers and why is year 1 so much less than year 2. Year 1 is essentially because summer programs straddle the fiscal year. Year 1 is going to be the setup time and the first month of programming of June, and then year 2 is going to be the remainder of that summer and then the startup of the following summer. So it kind of overlaps the 2 fiscal years, so we have to plan appropriately. And the operational costs are relatively minimal, with the highest cost being the cost of certifications, making sure that our lifeguards are certified, that we have the appropriate levels of training, and that we can staff appropriately. Some of the revenue projections are kind of, we're being conservative. We're not really sure what the take is going to be when it comes to let's offer swim programs, but we're looking at, after doing a review of swim classes in and around this area. We landed on $75 a session, so which is the 2-week session, 30 minutes, 4 days a week. $75 for residents and $90 for non-residents. So this kind of puts us, year one being that 1 month of June, and year two being that second month of summer 2024 and that first month of summer 2025. So again, we're in community services. We're not necessarily here to make money, but we're definitely here to support the community and wanting to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our residents. And this is, again, one of the things that was called out several times in the Parks Master Plan. And this current budget is based on Paloma Valley High School only. We did kind of leave some room because, again, between Paris Union High School and the city, there's potential to offer programs at maybe Heritage High School, or if our hours expand, or if they want to expand the recreation swim maybe during the hot months when school goes back into session. So there's opportunities and options for us, but that's not included in this budget. It just means that we'd have to end up paying a bit more for staffing because that would extend the season itself. So again, the request for the funding would be from general fund. We don't have a special fund. It's not in a special district that could support this type of program. So it would be a cost that the city would, want to be able to pay for out of the general fund in order to offer these items and amenities. The proposed implementation timeline, we're bringing it before the Parks, Recreation, Trails Commission because we'd like your input before we go to City Council. Again, this is something that's relatively new to the city. We haven't had an aquatics program before, although we have staff on our community services team that have run aquatics programs at several different agencies. But again, we'd like your feedback, any discussion related to this before going to City Council on October 18th. And if everything goes well, Council approves it. This would be for the MOU. Paris Union High School District would be reviewing, their school board would be reviewing this on November 15th. And then the reason why we're asking so early is because we're looking at this adjustment taking place at mid-year, which is typically January, because that's about the time we start looking at hiring for summer, especially when it comes to the lifeguard training and certifications and making sure people can take the classes that we need and that we get the right amount of personnel to run these summer programs. So again, so all of this is essentially lining up for recruitment and training starting in January, for implementation starting in June. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm open for any questions that you may have regarding the program and the proposal, and look forward to hearing your feedback.
Thank you for that presentation. Commissioners, Mr. Peterson?
As far as the $2 and $3 non-resident fees, how is that just going to be cash, upon arrival, or is it going to be payment similar to like what the the community services, like at the Casey Center? Or
No, well, there is an office in that location, and so we do plan on having community service leaders to take cash. We'd have to manage, the cash drops and things of that nature, but we're also looking at potentially offering kind of like a monthly swim pass or something like that as well that could be purchased offsite.
Okay, and then I do have one comment regarding the drop zone.
Mm-hmm.
They do sell like a season pass, right?
Yes.
Summer pass. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to I was reading here about the kind of a Menifee Day discount, whatever. If it's possible also to talk about a discounted season pass, I do believe they have at that location they have food services, right?
Yes.
And they sell, yeah. So that could be, obviously a good revenue stream for them. You send your kids out there for the summer, for their little pass, and here's $20 for food. You know what I mean? That can possibly get a little bit more momentum on that one.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely open to whatever we can do to get more people out to the drop zone, and I think they're open to working with us on that as well.
Thank you. We'll go Commissioner Bangle.
Yeah, when you were doing your budget estimates for your lifeguards, how did you set the hourly rate? What did you compare it to? Did you look at what the drop zone's paying and what the city of Temecula's paying and surrounding areas?
Yeah, we did. We worked with our human resources department to do kind of like a salary survey of the local areas, the different cities that have these positions, and we kind of estimated on the higher level just to make sure that we can recruit appropriately.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think that one slide, the last one you showed, if you could show how much it would cost to run a pool, if the city actually owned a pool, instead of just using a portion of it for the summer, if you had the expense of running it for the entire year, I think it would strengthen that slide, because my guess is it would be like $1 million loss versus 231. So you just may want to consider that. The other thing I didn't, this is kind of off subject a little bit, but I have a concern. You mentioned the splash pad. Do we have a certified pool operator on staff?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. And
We have two.
oh, really? That's good. And I love what you did here. I'm very happy you got it out so quickly, right after the master plan, and you hit all the points. So job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Faust.
I'm excited about this too, as well, and it's a great start to the program. So this would be managed and staffed by city seasonal staff.
That's correct.
Did we look at comparing that to using a vendor to like Premier or somebody like that?
Yes, we did. We outreached to try and get some information on vendors that could potentially come in and do this, and the cost came in maybe a little bit lower, but what they were willing to charge our residents was more than what we had wanted. So after doing a comparison, we really felt like having local control, taking this in-house was kind of our best option, but we can definitely present that information as well, or have it available if you'd like it.
Great, and I see, the potential to be expanded to Heritage High School. Would it work at Liberty with the school being outside of the city limits, to have city staff managing a program outside of the city?
Right now, I don't think the city has taken on expanding into Liberty High School for any of our city programs, just because it's outside the city limits. So right now, it would just be Heritage would be our other option.
Okay. And then finally, a general fund. Did the city in their budget projections kind of earmark the potential for this coming down the road, as far as the couple $100,000?
We've talked about it in the past in other previous budget cycles, and it may not be specifically earmarked, but we know that it's an objective for City Council, and that this is why it's coming at a mid-year appropriation.
Awesome. Okay. I'm excited. I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I'm also very excited, and maybe looking at an adult lap swim time in there, if possible. I think there's a lot of lap swimmers looking for a place to swim. Thank you. So would you like a motion to approve this
Yes.
aquatics program? We have a motion?
It'd be my pleasure to give you the motion.
Thank you. And a second?
Yeah, I would second this as well.
Any further comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Wonderful. Moving on to agenda item 9, Community Services Department comments, starting with 9.1, Director comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a few updates. Last week, on August 29th, the Riverside County Board of Supervisors approved transferring $1.5 million back to the city of Menifee in Quimby funds that they've been holding in the savings account for us. It's actually Quimby funds from the CSA 145, which is the area kind of like around Lazy Creek. So they collected those funds over time. For some reason, it just wasn't transferred over when the city incorporated. So it's just a cleanup item. It actually earned interest was lower than that. And so luckily wisely invested by the county and transferred over to us, which is very good. We could definitely use that money for some upcoming projects, which I'll also discuss a little bit later. Just want to also update the commission and the community that the next regular city council meeting has been canceled, so the council will reconvene October 4th. The only reason why it's canceled is because it's the League of California Cities conference during that week, so some of the council members and executive staff will attend. So, and then just want to point out and highlight, if you haven't seen it in your mailbox yet or online, there is a new redesigned Menifee Matters available. We're trying to go for more of that magazine style and have that more accessible, and hopefully more people pay attention to it and see all the wonderful things and services that are available in your city. So those are my updates.
Thank you.
For Menifee Matters, how are you guys ensuring that new communities are gaining access to that in the mail?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we work with our public information team to make sure that once we have new addresses that are coming through the engineering department, that's added to our database.
Okay, because just for some feedback, I've never received one of
Oh,
these.
really? Okay.
And I don't know if it's because I live in a
Write that
newer
down.
community.
Yeah.
My house was built in 2020, and since I've resided there, the only time I get it is when I come here.
Okay. Good to know.
So,
We'll double
yeah.
check that.
So yeah, if you want to maybe follow up on that to ensure.
We will. Yeah. We have your address. So we'll get it.
Any other questions or comments on that? All right, 9.2, Parks and Progress update.
I'm going to be trying my best on this one. Mr. Howell's not feeling well, unfortunately. So, Parks and Progress. So we have 7 parks that we're working on. As mentioned, Banner Village Park actually went through a final inspection, so we're working with the developer to get that open as soon as we can and available to the community because it's still pretty warm out there. So we want to take advantage of that new splash pad. Quartz Ranch, also in the 90-day maintenance period. They only have a few items left there. Quartz Ranch is number 2. It's right there across the street from Evans Ranch Elementary School. Working with Lennar on that one. They have some lighting fixtures that were in back order. So they're just installing those and getting everything energized over there, including the sports field, the lighted sports field that's out there. So they're installing those parking lot lights, walkway lights, and getting it fully energized by Edison. So we're hoping to finish all that up by next month. And so we might be having a back-to-back ribbon cutting here pretty soon. So we'll keep you guys informed, get that on your schedule. Legato, which is number 3, that still going through a design review. Again, that's 1,000 homes that are being built over there. There's a 13-acre sports park with a community center. It's very nice. So we'll keep you abreast of that as it keeps coming forward. The Sun City, we're calling it Green Space, where we're working with the church over there to have that land transfer. So we're still going through the process with the California Natural Resource Agency to go through the escrow and get the grant funding to transfer that land. So we're still going through that process. Number 5, for some reason there's no number 5 on the map, but that's Cimarron Ridge. That's on the northwest side of the city up on Getz Road. So that's still going through a conceptual design process. And 6 and 7 aren't on the map either, but Cantalina is just near Scott Road and the 215 freeway. And that's also going through conceptual design. And number 7 is Menifee Valley. That's by Brookfield. So that is just north of Heritage Lake. So you see that kind of trapezoid on your east side, and that undeveloped area on the northeast corner of this map, that is Menifee Valley. Very good design. We're working with them on having a very large sports park there as well. Also some natural trail areas, possibly even a nice walking trail going through that mixed-use area there. So here's some photos of that. Quartz Ranch, looking pretty much almost done. Just got to get those lights in there, 5 acres, 2 picnic shelters, as mentioned, lighted multi-purpose field, restroom building, pickleball courts, and a basketball court. Banner Village Park, as you can see, pretty much done. Past that final inspection. That splash pad is that circular thing quite in the middle there, and so the water sprouts out from the bottom. So splash pad, 5 acres, a lot of nice green area space that could be used for sports practices, things like that. Restroom, picnic shelter, basketball courts.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jonathan. Splash pad, what would that be operated just seasonally, like
Yes.
Memorial Day to Labor Day or something like that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When it's warm, it's on.
'Cause sometimes we have 80-degree Februarys too. So, but it would really just be there'd be a set schedule.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and that's all I have on Parks in Progress.
Any other questions or comments on Parks and Progress?
Well, it looks like looks like Legato is kind of stopped.
They're doing a lot of design work, working with engineering, getting all their plans in, working with planning and all that. So there's not active construction going on, but there's a lot of environmental review and things of that nature that they're still going through. So it's still a very active project.
All right, thank you. 9.3, Solid Waste and Recycling update.
Ms. Jones is taking this one.
Good evening. So just a few updates on the August solid waste and recycling activities. We did 2 booths in the month of August, one at National Night Out, which was really well attended, as well as Foodie Fridays. We're continuing to have a presence at that event as well. So I did mention at the last meeting, September 23rd is our fall bulky item drop-off event. This year will be at Heritage High School. We received feedback from the last event, which was a smaller event, that that area of the city needs a little more attention. And so this will be one of our larger scale events, and we expect it to be pretty well attended. So the event will feature e-waste collection. We will take a limited number of used tires, and we will be doing our first ever mulch giveaway, where the public is invited to come and scoop and go. Basically, you would bring your own container and grab as much mulch as you can carry. So that should be exciting, and we will start advertising that on social media shortly. Some administrative updates. We received our refrigerated box truck. That's still going through the insurance and title transfer. We have to get that wrapped. And we're meeting with Menifee Valley Community Cupboard next week to talk about expansion of the program as required under the grant, as well as planning a kickoff event. Some numbers regarding our diversion and litter abatement programs. I haven't received the litter abatement report quite yet from Waste Management, but we did route 13 illegal dumping requests last month. And then you'll see a nice picture of our booth from National Night Out. Okay, and then just a sneak peek at the social media posts that will be going out about our bulky item event. So again, it's just an overview of what that the event will entail.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
Just a question regarding social media outreach. Are you finding Instagram is getting more hits or likes or than Facebook, or have you guys done any analysis on that?
Depends on the post. Yeah, it's about equal on some of them. You know, different folks follow Instagram and Facebook. So, and it depends on what's posted and who's following it. I think a lot of ours, there just seems to be a pretty good balance from community services post.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bowen.
Is there a budget for that? Because I know I know Instagram specifically, they'll allow you to pay like a couple $, and then they'll make sure or try to ensure more people see it versus if you just do a standard post.
Yeah, we do work with our community communications team to do sponsored posts on some of the things that we want to make sure get out to residents. Things like the bulky item drop-off, we might sponsor that, and then we have additional funds in our special event advertising budgets to do some posts.
Okay, thank you. 9.4 Recreation Division update.
All right, that'll be me. So Recreation Division, again, even though it is August and summer is over, the fun does not stop for us. We want to make sure residents are aware that we have extended our registration for our City of Menifee Flag Football League. It's been extended through this week in case if you know of anybody or have a young one that's interested in getting started in football. Today was the first day of football, so make sure if they're interested, please sign up at citymenifee.us/register. Skills assessment is scheduled for next week with games beginning in October. Another thing that we have coming up with our Walk with the Doc program, which is Menifee Moves, which is a part of our Healthy Menifee program. This one is actually an event that our residents are welcome to come out, participate, have a walk. We have several doctors that are going to be on site. This is specifically targeting our veteran attendees to just kind of talk through some either mental health issues or to look for resources. And there will be no diagnosing happening, but definitely just making sure that resources are available to our residents and anybody looking for information and how to access these resources. So really excited about that. That's going to be on September 16th from 9 to 12 p.m. at Hidden Hills Park. Perfect place for a walk. And then although the park rangers are technically under the Parks Division. We're doing a little plug for them. They have a monthly dig session at the Gail Webb Action Sports Park the first Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this is also a part of something trying to get information out about our Adopt a Park program. But this is specific to the riders who we believe are out there and enjoying the park and really have taken a lot of ownership of the park. And so in order to kind of incentivize the come on out, do some hard work, and we'll provide some light refreshments. And actually, we're working with Menifee Bicycles, who's offered to do a quarterly bike raffle for anybody who participates. They'll get a ticket, park rangers will sign off on it, and every quarter we'll run a raffle for anybody who comes out and helps us keep the Gail Webb Action Sports Park the best it possibly can be. So I think I might have missed a slide. Our typical attendance and registration information, want to make sure you have that information. We're, again, in August, we're back to school, so some of our participation numbers might be a little bit lower, but we're still getting in those facility rental reservations and those athletic field reservations in order to meet our revenue goals, but still on track with that. So I believe that concludes my recreation update.
Thank you. Questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to 9.5, special events update.
All right, so I'll take that. So Chelsea, who's our community services coordinator, did a fantastic job providing an update on the fall items. These are a couple things we just want to make sure you had the flyers in front of you. So the 9/11 commemoration ceremony, which is happening this Monday, it is going to be between the 900 and 800 buildings. So we're asking people to park in Lot C, which is directly off Antelope, and you should be able to find the tent and all the decorations leading up to the ceremony. And then we also have, again, the Menifee's birthday celebration on October 19th and the Multicultural Art Affair on September 22nd. So just wanted to make sure that you guys had a look of those items. But again, like I said, Chelsea did a fantastic job providing you the fall overview. But if there's any questions about any other upcoming events, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this? Okay. Moving on to 9.6, capital improvement program update.
Okay, I'm going to do my best Bryce Howell imitation. So the parking lot resurfacing at E.L. Peterson, it has been complete. We're really happy that came out, and we want to thank, again, Public Works Engineering for helping us with that project and to get that done. La Ladera, it's our one of our largest parks that was on potable water, so we're working with the MWD to transfer that to reclaimed water and save rates and save water for the entire city and the community. So that's currently under construction. Our team, our maintenance team is actually doing the work, and we purchased all the parts to do that. We're hoping to finish that up actually this month. The AMR buildings at the skate park, I have a slide on that later. Also, same thing with the other two items, so I'll go right into those. So this was approved, the purchase of the buildings, we're purchasing these prefabricated buildings, very similar to what we've done with the restroom buildings in the past, to have a ranger station out there right by the skate park. That's building 2, so that's the larger rectangle. And then have an upgraded ticket booth for the skate park. Right now we have a booth that was very well done by our in-house staff, but we now with the volume of folks that were getting out there, and the staffing that we're having there on a regular basis, we thought we needed an upgrade out there. So this was already approved by City Council. It's in the CIP. So we did the first phase where we approved the prefabricated buildings, and so those are in process. We're working with an engineering company to do all the utility connection plans. Then we'll do a notice inviting bids for that construction, which is to install the buildings and doing all the utility hookups. That should happen in the next couple months, and we're expecting the buildings to be on site around February. Amphitheater, we did go out to bid on this one. We had to take an item to City Council last night, unfortunately, to reject the bids. The low bidder, that one actually was disqualified because they didn't turn in all their documents timely. But although they submit everything online, there are some documents, bid bonds and such that they have to turn in hard copies, and they did not do that. And then the other bids were much higher than our budget. So the council rejected all the bids yesterday, and we reopened the bid today. So we worked also with TY Lin to look at our bid schedule and separate out some items, particularly looking at like the sound and the lighting and have those as bid alternates. And we feel confident that rebidding it, we might be close to that low bid again. So we put it out there, contacted all the construction companies that are bidding again, so that bid last time, to have the opportunity to bid again. So we're hoping that once we get those bids in, the bids are due on October 5th, so about a month from today. And then also out to bid is for a construction management agency to help us with that. That once we have those bids in, and hopefully with some of this additional funding that we just received from the county, that we can make our budget and take that to City Council for consideration on November 1st. And we'll definitely provide the commission an update at our next meeting where our progress is.
Okay.
Also, Paloma Wash pedestrian bridge, that one went out to bid, and we did not receive any bids. And so, I know, it's like the curse of the bids. And so, but definitely want to provide these conceptual drawings. That one's, engineering's handling this one. So that's the bridge that connects Central Park, goes across to Paloma Wash, lands you at the intersection that's like right by Sonic, and goes across to like where In-N-Out and Panera are. So they're retooling that bid. The way they bid it last time was for the complete bridge plus installation. But although they had a lot of questions from it, there wasn't a contractor team that actually submitted a bid. So they're separating the process now, because this is a prefabricated bridge, where the bid that's going out is for just the prefabricated bridge. So they're going to do it in two parts, very similar to the way I described the AMR buildings and what we've been doing with the restroom buildings. Have order the prefab bridge and then bid out for the construction and installation separately. Try to do it as a package. Thought that'd be a little more efficient, but we're not successful, so we're doing it the way we've been successful for in the past. So just wanted to provide that update. Any questions on CIP items?
More comment, Jonathan. I wanted to publicly thank Public Works on the when they did the repaving on Murrieta, and revitalized and improved the bike trails on both sides of the road from Salt Creek down to just south of Newport. It looks really good. It looks very, very safe, that section. Also, the extension on Normandy Road of the multi-use pedestrian bike section crossing Salt Creek there has made it now a safe access to connect residents across the wash there, where it was a very narrow area. So great work on city staff on those projects.
Thank you. I also just want to comment on that Normandy Trail, that Public Works, even though they had to go through a lot of regulatory process because it's going over the Salt Creek, they were able to get that done before school started. So that was available for students, especially the new students going to Catherine Newport Middle School.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this? Okay, Maintenance Division Report, 9.7.
Okay, so maintenance staff have been working very hard. There's 84 submitted for facilities. As just a reminder to the commission, the Community Services Department in this division in particular oversees this building, the police station, and all the fire stations. So 84 submitted. They completed 50 of them. We're actually down one position, so we're still recruiting for that. Hopefully when we feel we can catch up. And some of these projects are, they're not like one-day projects, so they take some time. So that's why there's 34 pending. For parks and right-of-ways, 192 submitted, 178 completed. Just only 4 submitted by residents because our maintenance team, as they see things, they submit things on their own to make sure we track them properly, get them done. And only 14 pending. So you'll see the math looks a little off, 228 of 276, but they're doing a fine job trying to complete everything and having those pending ones carry over for the next month. Park rangers have been doing all their park visits out there, 289. June had a spike of 370, a lot of outreach in July, and then 212 in August. And then you can see a lot of the repairs and things we're doing are, that park maintenance. Luckily, vandalism has been down a little bit, and just regular repairs on irrigation, right-of-way, and athletic fields. That's
Thank
all
you.
I have. Oh, no, I have one more.
Okay.
Sorry. See, this is why we need Bryce. Also, just to point out, there's a new Adopt a Park, Adopt a Trail. We have volunteers working on that, but we're making a call out to any other volunteers that want to work with the park rangers to help beautify the city. And then we have the volunteer hours that were put in already over June, July, and August, 26 hours, 20, and 33. So there's some great volunteers already working for us, but we can always use some more. So we wanted to put that out there.
Okay, thank you. Item 10, Commissioner reports on committee activities. Do we have any commissioner reports? Commissioner Peterson.
Okay, so I attended the Menifee the Menifee Citizens Advisory Committee meeting a couple weeks back. We had an update about some of the the services that we're doing for helping our citizens that need repairs on their homes and some other things like that. We learned about some of the problems actually in people accepting those gifts and some of the process and struggles that we've been dealing with along the way, in qualifying them and other things like that. The one thing that seems to be kind of an issue, I would say, would be that some of our citizens don't exactly trust the system. And so when they need the help, they're not really willing to give all of the documentation and the, everything that they need to provide for us to make a good decision and for us to help out. And that was an interesting kind of understanding, and I don't know if that's an easy solution, but I'm looking forward to the next update at the next meeting. So let's see, in addition to that, I had some notes here. My iPad is not working, so please excuse my... So I also attended the Menifee City Contract Class Showcase that was put on by our community services, and it was actually a ton of fun. And I definitely want to thank all that were involved in the planning and the preparation. It was a very good time, and I probably need to apologize for my children's behavior. But aside from that, there were some really cute presentations, and we got to talk with a lot of the instructors at their little booths, and they explained a few different things about all of what their classes are about. And one thing that I wanted to add to this, when I was signing my children up for some of the summer classes, we actually ran into a few problems where the ones they wanted were full or were not available on the days that or times that we needed them to be. So I know that it's a logistical nightmare to satisfy 100% of everybody, but I just wanted to say that we look forward to some more scheduling options, and hopefully, we can adjust our schedules accordingly. Let's see, I did receive an email, and I'm not sure if any of you received an email as well, from Mike Adams from the Menifee Pony Baseball League. Am I the only one? Okay. So anyhow, Mike Adams sent me an email. He BCC'd me, and I'm not sure exactly who he addressed it to, or who else received the email. But he's very concerned about an increase in expenses for Valleywide. I'm not sure what they had previously been paying, but their new rates are, I believe, $25 per hour without lights, $55 per hour with lights. And according to him, and I don't know if these numbers are accurate, but he's stating that in the next season it will be an increase of $83,000 for them to take on. And that's quite, as far as whatever the fee is per player, that's a substantial increase of, $80 to $90 per child that's participating. And so, I'm not, compared to our rates for our parks, we're looking at $5 to $10 an hour, or, $15 to $20 an hour with lights. So there's a big difference in, those two fees. I know that Valleywide, they do have some nice parks, nice amenities, and, but I'm not sure how sustainable that is for our city, or for our citizens. But then on the other hand, I'm not sure how sustainable, if Valleywide's going like that, how sustainable our low rates might be. But then again, this is for our citizens. It's not, but yeah, I'm not sure what the right approach there would be, but something may need to be addressed, whether it's a subsidy for our leagues, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Just wanted to share that with you guys. This was new to me. I can share the email with the staff. But yeah,
About it.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Commissioner Bowen?
So I had the opportunity to help with the interview process for youth leaders. And it was interesting. It was really cool to see how many of like our teenagers really showed up and went through the whole process, because I guess they got several, they had a good response because there was a lot of kids there. And they did so well. I was really proud to see that, because I'm like, when I was 14, 15, 16, there's no way I would be sitting here like, not just an interview in itself is pressure, but they had to go through a panel interview and a group of their peers. So if they froze up or like the stress, it's not only you're going to be embarrassed in front of the people, you're going to be embarrassed in front of all these people sitting behind you that go to school with you. But they did so good. And I was so proud to see just the leaders of tomorrow really be present, because the areas that they were interviewing for was, the teen team. So you'd basically be representing your peers. They had the youth team for like the younger kiddos that they would support. And they also had the green team, which is focused on like the environment that we live in and trying to make that better. So they all were very passionate and like excited, and it was really refreshing to see. And I was just excited to be a part of the process.
Thank you. I also was on the panel interviewing those students. There were 33 applicants for 9 officer positions, and I too was very impressed with the way they presented themselves, the way they articulated their thoughts, eye contact, and it was very refreshing and a good time. So glad I was there.
I also attended the Menifee Citizens Advisory Committee meeting with Mr. Peterson, and excuse me, I just have to say kudos to Edna LeBron for running that program, and it's a lot of work, and she does a lot of outreach. It's unfortunate that some of the assistance where there's funds available, especially for some of the housing rehab projects, that some of our seniors get kind of overwhelmed in the process, and so there's always excess funds that aren't used because they don't fill out the paperwork properly or get it submitted on time. But it's also, we're looking forward to being able to provide grants again for some of our local community service agencies, and some exciting about that coming up in the spring next year too. I got an email about the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee meeting. Their annual meeting's being held next month on the 10th, and unfortunately I'm going to be out of town. And so I'd asked if Commissioner Bowen is going to be available. It's Tuesday, October 10th from 9 to 11. This is an annual meeting. Is it typically in, like always in October? If I had known ahead of time, I would have probably changed my schedule in advance, so I wouldn't have missed this once a year event. But so only getting a month's notice on it, I was already committed to something else that day. And I also haven't been able to attend in person the Complete Streets Project Advisory Committee meetings yet, but was able to provide some comments. And I know beginning next week they're going to be doing their, is it called charrettes? Charrettes, is that the public meetings? Outreach Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bill, are you going to be participating in that?
Yeah, I'll be there on Tuesday. I think we're doing a walk and then a meeting after. So.
And it's kind of changing locations, I guess. Tuesdays at
right here at City Hall, I believe.
City Hall. Then I think there's one at the Senior Center, and I'm not sure where the other one is.
Do you know what the times are?
Yes, they are. Let's see. It's the 12th. It'll be at 6 o'clock at Heritage High School, right? Is that? That's what I had on my notes. But did it change?
That sounds correct to me, but we can also email the commission all that information.
Yeah, 13th at Paloma Valley, and then the 14th at the Senior Center. But I won't be able to make the Tuesday, but I think I'm going to be able to make the other two events as well too. So that's coming up next week as well. That's all I had.
Okay. Item 11, future agenda requests. Okay, then item 12, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Wait, can I make a request?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Peterson, I know the ponies reached out to you. I don't know if it'd be appropriate to see if they want to come in during public comment.
I think that would be excellent.
I'm not sure if,
They're not the first group that I've heard of complaining about Valleywide versus Menifee, but like I was kind of saying, I mean, there's something there that needs to be addressed, and I'm not sure. I don't.
If I may, definitely this is a public meeting. Everyone's welcome to come and provide public comments. The commission cannot technically respond to anyone unless it's an agendized item. And so at the moment, there is a subcommittee of city council to explore, options for, future annexation of Valleywide. That was reaffirmed back in, a couple months ago. And, but I don't have any updates on that. So if they were invited to come, there's not really an agenda item associated with it. So they could come and express concerns to the commission. We could take notes on it. But I don't want to set a false expectation that we're going to solve an issue for them, because Valleywide, they set their own fees. They have their own governing board. We don't have any control or power or influence over that.
And wouldn't the first step to be go to the board of Valleywide? If they have an issue with Valleywide, they need to go to Valleywide.
I believe they have.
And what were they told?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, Commissioner Bangle is correct. That would be the most appropriate step if there's issues with fees that are set by Valleywide's board, to go to the Valleywide board. If there's issues with our city fees, they could come here or come to the city council.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
A second?
I second.
This meeting is adjourned at 7:11. Thank you all.